Hey, somebody just asked me not too long ago, how do I actually have accountability in my business without fear? Because there's two different sides to walking out a kingdom culture within our businesses. When we have a culture of honor, we feel like, okay, I've got to just have grace and just let things go. Or the other side is like, well, I've got a business. I've got to make sure people are working. So if I don't have these consequences, then we're not going to be able to see anything fulfilled. And I want to propose a different way, that there is both the both and, that there's an accountability and honor in the same way, that many times we don't know even what that looks like. And I remember having a gentleman call me one time. He said, "Hey Tim, listen, I got a guy I got to fire." And I said, "What's going on?" He said, "He has not been showing up on time. He's been slacking on his job, and I am so frustrated. I'm going to tell him if he does this again, he's out the door." I said, "That makes sense if you want to create a culture of fear." He goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "What about a culture of honor and empowerment and actually accountability and responsibility?" He said, "What does that look like?" And so I began to walk him through. And I'll do the same thing for you, because a lot of times we, in the Christian or believers or kingdom business, we don't really know what it is to have accountability and honor in the same context inside a business setting. And so what I did is I started talking to him. I said, "What if you do this?" You begin to remind him who he is, because that's what honor is. Honor is celebrating who they are. And so you honor him who he is. Hey, listen, I know Joe. I'll use his name, Joe. Listen, when I hired you, you are phenomenal. You're on time. You did excellent work. You did all these things. But then what I've been experiencing recently is not what I hired you for. So something else is going on. Okay, what's happening? Why are you showing up late? Why aren't you fulfilling what you said you're going to do? What's actually going on? And you ask for understanding, but what you're doing is you're giving an opportunity for him to be responsible and to take accountability for what's happening. And so they began to have a conversation. I said, "Okay, great. I'm glad to let you let me know what's happening, but we've got a problem. We can't keep having this happen. So what are we going to do?" So instead of me just telling them what the problem is going to be or the solution is going to be, I'm giving him an opportunity to take some ownership of the solution. Because if I'm just creating this, you have to, it's control, and they're just functioning out of requirement and responsibility versus ownership and connection and this, I'm in this with you. And so as you do that, you begin to help them take accountability and responsibility and ownership of the solution. So they might give you some ideas. So great, let me give you a couple of mine as well. So this is what we're going to do. Here's our plan of action. Sounds great. Looking forward to it. We're going to follow up in a little bit about those things. Now, Joe, if you don't follow through with that, you're basically telling me that you don't want to work here. Why would I say that? Because if you really cared about what you're doing, you're going to follow through with these things. And you're going to show up on time. You're going to be doing things with excellence. But if you don't show up on time and you don't follow through the things, you're then communicating to me you really don't want to work here. Oh, okay. And you start to help them understand that I value who you are. I'm honoring because I know this is true. But what I'm experiencing is different from who I know you can possibly be. So we got a problem. So what are we going to do about it? And you create a solution, and then accountability. And in regards to that, you're telling them, here's the consequences for what you're doing because of your choices. Not because if you don't do this, you're out the door. And I understand that's what we've always seen modeled, but I believe there's a better way of empowering people to take ownership, because then they're recognizing their decisions are causing them to leave. And I know people have different protocols. You have to write people up. You have to do these things. But I believe you can create an accountability and a culture of honor and ownership inside your company by the way you communicate, by the way of asking questions, by caring for them, but also holding them to a higher standard and giving them opportunity to take ownership for what they're doing. So I hope that helps you as you navigate learning how to walk in this kingdom culture inside your business.